All right, another amazing episode of The Last of Us, episode 5, Endure and Survive. This time we start off with the Resistance has basically captured Kansas City. They've killed Fedra. They've got him. They're dragging him down the street. We see Henry and Sam. They're trying to get away and hide. And we get a bunch of backstory in this episode from Henry and Sam and about Kathleen. And we basically learn that why Kathleen is after Henry is he is an informant. So basically he would turn people in from the Resistance to Fedra. And what he did basically was turn in Kathleen's brother, who was the leader of the Resistance, into Fedra, and they killed him. And that's why Henry is the number one most wanted guy by Kathleen in the Resistance. So Kathleen has all of these informants captured, basically, and she's looking for Sam. One of them tells him kind of where that he's still in the city, and he's another informant that they didn't know about is basically hiding him. So Q, Henry, and Sam they're in like an attic of a house somewhere in the city, and they've got about 11 days of food left. And I don't know if they're basically trying to wait out the Resistance or try and find safe way out of the city because they know they're dead. They have no chance of living in the city. So they kind of hear a whole bunch of commotion basically after about the 10th day, and they hear a bunch of gunshots, and they see Joel and Ellie killing these Resistance members. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to follow Joel and Ellie. They see that they're new, capable people, and they're going to follow them and try and team up with them. So they go, and that's where episode 4 ends off with them having their guns drawn on Joel and Ellie. But turns out that they didn't have any bullets in the guns. So basically, Henry and Sam are like, hey, we didn't hurt you. Don't hurt us. So they can basically tell Joel and Ellie that they got a plan to get out of the city. So supposedly a few years ago, the Fedra pushed all of the infected into the sewers and dealt with them. So that's why kind of Kansas City, you don't see really infected anywhere up in the surface. So he basically tells Joel, like, that's basically our plan is to go into the city or into the sewers. I know where to go, but I just need you two to, kind of be our protection and help us get through. So it's about the best plan that they got, really. So I think Joel and Ellie basically reluctantly go along with it. They seem like okay people, so they go down to the sewers. They get out, and it's really nice that Sam and Ellie basically start, form like a bit of a bond. They're joking and laughing, and and Henry says he hasn't seen Sam laugh in forever. So you could see that Henry's really happy with how the relationship's going, and they get out. They get to this basically this block with houses on each side, and one house in the center all the way down, and they start getting sniped at. So Joel basically has to leave the group to go around to this house and take out this sniper so they can make it. And in doing so, he hears Kathleen, say over, we're on our way. And basically, really cool scene. You see this truck coming with a plow on it, and it's basically plowing cars out of the way. Joel's up in the top of the house sniping at the truck. Finally hits the driver. Driver crashes into a house. But meanwhile, Kathleen and the rest of the Resistance, they have Henry and Sam and Ellie pinned. And, she's like, okay, come on out. You've got nowhere else to go. And Henry's going to basically give himself up so Ellie and Sam can get away. But in doing so, you see the car sink down into a hole, and out here comes, which is the best scene in the show, a whole bunch of infected running all over the place, taking out the Resistance, and out comes this massive bloater that just grabs Kathleen's right-hand man, Perry, rips his head right off. Awesome scene. And so Henry and Sam and Ellie make a break for it. Well, Kathleen catches up to them, and then she gets taken out by this little child infected, which is freaking amazing. And then it's basically the end right there. Joel and the rest of the group, they get out of there. The Resistance is done for. It looks like Kansas City has basically been taken over by the infected because they're just pouring out of the ground, and you've got this massive bloater, and I'm assuming that's most, if not all, of the resistance that came after Henry, and they just wiped him out completely. No contest. So get to about to the end of the episode, and the group is at a hotel somewhere, and Joel or Ellie and Sam are playing. They're laughing. They're reading a comic, and you could see some bonding between Joel and Henry, which is really cool. Joel is basically like, I'm going to Wyoming, but I don't know if I'm going to get there. Probably walk. You guys are more than welcome to come with. Which earlier in the episode he didn't care too much for Ellie telling them where they were going, and Henry seems really relieved and happy. He wants to go with. So they all go to bed, and we wake up the next morning, and Sam has turned. So it looks like he was bitten in the melee over at the town over there with all the infected chasing them. So he runs out, attacks Ellie, and Henry unfortunately has to kill his brother, and then he takes his own life, which is like so sad. I know that the story ends up really being Joel and Ellie, but it makes me really wanted to see Henry and Sam with them too a little bit more. I wish we would have got maybe one more episode of Henry and Sam, but I probably would have still heard as much if or if not more, if what would have happened the next episode. But yeah, another outstanding episode. We're looking at, this is probably number 1A to go along with episode 3. And this scene with the bloater was awesome, and the infected running out of the ground and the hole and just wiping out the resistance. Awesome scene. The show, it just continues to deliver. I'm imagining the next episode maybe it goes down a notch a little bit, but we'll see. It's every week it's surprising me more and more. So that's it for the show today. Do me a favor, make sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you want to keep seeing more content like this. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you.